Good up.
This is channel 253. Beep, boop, boop.
On this episode of the Grit and Grain podcast.
Whether it be the time that it went into the cool ship to ferment, or the time that it went into the barrel to sit, or the time that it was blended, lambic is specific to a time and a place that no other beer style, and I will fight you about it, can be, because that's what's in the bottle.
Did you know Channel 253 is member supported? I'm producer Doug Mackey, and I hope you will show your support by going to channel253.com/membership and join. Thank you.
Welcome to the Grit and Grain podcast, where we explore and celebrate the craft beer industry, community, and history in Tacoma, Washington, and surrounding Pacific Northwest areas. Thank you so much for hanging out. Let's get to it. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Grit and Grain podcast, coming to you guys from Peaks and Pints in Tacoma, Washington. My name is Matt McLaren. I'm here, as always, with Ron Swarner.
Hello.
How's it going, Ron?
It's the most wonderful time of the year to gain 15 pounds.
That's true.
I can't stop eating cookies.
My wife makes like 500 to 1,000 every year to give out as gifts, and I test all of them.
Yes.
Samesies. And Bethany, how's it going?
Great. How are you guys?
Very good. Thank you, everybody, for listening. As always, if you're free on Wednesdays, come and hang out at Peaks and Pints when we do this live. Nights like tonight, it's a little bit packed house, but it's because we have an awesome person hanging out on the mic with us today. I hope everybody pre-funked with Pepto, because we're talking about fucking lambic all day long with my buddy and local beer industry favorite, Scott Travis.
Hello.
How's it going, man?
Hello, I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to share life with everyone.
Yes.
But I do. Is it okay if I brought a box with some stuff, and I think that it's probably necessary that we utilize some of the stuff in the box.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Makes for good radio.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Well, for those of you listening at home, one of the things lambic is known for is its acid content to an extent. So I brought some Tums for everyone.
Thank you.
But I specifically brought the smoothie flavor because I heard that Matt likes smoothies. So there's that.
Gosh,
and then,
fucking damn it.
and then the other thing, everyone knows that lambic is like wine, and when people drink wine, they pair it with charcuterie. So I brought everyone their very own Tacoma charcuterie board, a.k.a. a Lunchable.
Nice.
So I got Lunchables for the team, and some Tums. So we'll start with that.
So prepared.
Different
Thank
flavors,
you.
different varieties.
Yeah.
Oh my God, my stomach is so ready.
Yeah, I feel like St. Lamb pairs best with ham and cheddar. Yeah.
God damn it. The smoothie Tums. I know.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're not familiar, Lunchables are 100% referred to as Tacoma charcuterie, because that's how we do shit. So Scott Travis has been around doing beer stuff in Tacoma for a long time, but one of the things that he's probably known best for, besides chugging beer, is drinking beer, and particularly very bougie beer from Belgium. This dude probably has tried more lambic than anybody I know, and so I'm super fucking pumped to talk about it today. But if you're down, can we tell your story a little bit?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, man. How? So I should ask what we're all drinking first, actually, because we did pop a couple bottles. We have a lot to get through. But this first bottle is a McKellar Select Goose Boon from
That's a weird
Let's
place.
see. Best before 2035.
Stop pronouncing it right.
So
2050?
no, 2035.
Yeah, so
And their stuff is 30-year expiration, right? Well, like best by 30 years. So is this a 2005 bottle?
Yeah, sure. We're gonna say it's either 2005 or 2015. So one of the things that's difficult when you start collecting too much beer that you're never gonna drink unless you share it with everyone is you lose track of what you have and you find some gems. I was collecting the different Goose Boon bottle series just because the labels, and Mikkeller is known for making just weird stuff.
Yeah.
But actually, these are probably some of the most traditional beers they've ever made, in my opinion. But yeah, it's been sitting for a while. Yeah, so excited to give it a try.
Sweet. It's I've never had it, but dude, the lemon on this fucking bottle is insane. It's like almost like preserved lemon, like salty lemon zest is like what it smells like. Oh. And it's super carbonated. It's like crazy bubbly and super dry. Yeah, it's fucking incredible.
It does pair nicely with the flesh-like charcuterie that's in there.
The congealed,
Yeah.
the congealed ham charcuterie.
It's alive.
Yeah,
right.
I think the miscellaneous animal fat that's in that pairs very well with the lemon zest profile.
Just cuts right through the
of the
sharpness.
Goose Boon. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I tell you what, the Tums flavor isn't doing it. So we all need to get a
Palate cleanse
cracker
after
or
Tums.
cheese. Yeah. The smoothie Tums was.
You guys did it wrong though. You're supposed to drop the Tums in your cup of goose.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. Smoothie goose is the next hot beer style that no one knew about.
It's like an Alka-Seltzer, but it starts a war in your stomach.
Yeah. Nothing will confuse your body more than $1 packages of charcuterie and 20-year-old lambic.
Yeah, that is much more than $1.
Scott, before we get much deeper into the L word,
Yep.
tell us a little bit about your background in beer.
Yeah, I have a very interesting journey because I get bored really quickly, and so I just changed jobs for funsies. Started kind of getting into beer with my very first job. I worked for a grocery retailer, and all of the beer reps thought that I was like older because of the role I had at the store, and so they would put beer in my trunk to get displays in the store. And I would go home, and my mom, if that gives you a little hint, would be like, "Why do you have beer? Who bought that for you?" I'm like, "Oh, these are gifts."
For you.
Don't worry about it, Mom.
And so when I officially turned 21, underage drinking is illegal. Don't do it. So when I officially turned 21, I actually jumped into the beer industry with Marine View Beverage, which was a Western Washington local distributor of Miller Coors products and some craft products as well. After a little bit of time there, this new fancy thing happened in the state of Washington where they privatized liquor, and I jumped on over to Bevmo, where beer goes to die. No offense, Bevmo.
Nah, we've been through it.
And Matt can tell more stories about Bevmo down the road eventually. So I was at Bevmo for a little bit and ended up getting an apartment over by Pint Defiance, and I was there so much that Barry offered me a job. Pint Defiance for 4 years, and then I bullshitted my way into becoming the sales rep for pFriem Family Brewers out of Hood River. For my interview, I didn't know what to do, so I bought a bottle of Pilsner and a bottle of pFriem IPA, and I went to the tap room and I bought their glasses, and I had a little bag, and I sat down at the table with Josh pFriem in front of me, Gavin Lord, who was one of the head brewers, Miriam, who was the sales manager at the time, and one other person who I don't recall. If you're listening, sorry.
It's Farmer Matt. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it wasn't Farmer Matt.
Yeah.
But I sat down at the table and they were like, "Tell us a little bit about yourself." And hey, I'm Scott. Thank you so much for your time. Would you guys be interested in trying some of the beer I have for you today? And they just kind of gave me this weird look. And so I reached down in the bag and I pulled out pFriem Pilsner. And I cracked it open and I poured glasses and I started selling them their beer. And they were like, "Okay, well, we got some more questions." And I said, well, if this doesn't really fit the clientele that you guys have, IPA is definitely, a different one. Like, kind of sold that as well. I pulled that bottle out and I started rattling off all of the information about it straight off of their website, like 7.62%, 69 IBUs, has notes of citrus and pine, classic Northwest style IPA, and just pairs really well with this, and this. So if you have this on your food menu, which I saw you have this is what I would recommend. And like, The interview was supposed to only be 30 minutes because they were interviewing 15 people that day, and it ended up being about an hour because I just rambled on about pFriem beer to the people that make it.
Did they know that's what they were drinking?
Yeah, I showed him the
Okay.
bottles. I actually told the story of Josh Pfriem and how it started to him. I was like, yeah, the brewery was founded by Josh Pfriem, who worked for Full Sail. He was with Chuckanut for a little bit. He went to Utah, and he worked for a small producer over there. And how he got his funding for the brewery is this, and this, and kind of told the story. I don't know if he wants the story. I don't know if that story's out, so I'm not going to say it.
Like, yeah.
But I had gotten that information from Farmer Matt, who was essentially the sales rep for Pfriem at the time when we had done the bottle release of Pfriem beers at Pint Defiance. So, yeah.
I was there.
Yeah, so it was. So I took his story and I took their information off the website and I sold them their beer. And on my drive back from Hood River to Tacoma, I got the phone call. Do you want the job? And I was like, man, I have so much respect for a brewery like this. They are way too classy for me to work there. They don't know about me apparently. And yeah, so I was at Pfriem for a little bit. Jumped back into the server side of things with Brouwers out of Seattle, one of the OG legendary top 5 craft places in the United States, and if not top 15 in the world, in my opinion. And because I can't ever just sit still, I got a second job working part-time at Full Throttle Bottles in Georgetown. And because I can't sit still, I got a third job during that time, unloading semi-trucks for UPS. So yeah, I was working 20-hour days, 6-7 days a week for about 2 years. Got a phone call. Got scouted by 10 Barrel Brewing. Boo, AB and VA. They're not part of that anymore.
That's true.
And worked for 10 Barrel for a little bit, and then COVID happened, and now I have a new job that doesn't have to do anything with beer for the last 3 years. And so I feel truly honored and humbled to be here, be invited to have this conversation and talk about beer, because I've kind of been the ghost of Beer Miss Past the last couple of years.
Do beer reps love or hate you?
I can answer that.
So my sales style was probably not something that the beer industry in this part of Washington was used to.
Listen. This motherfucker sets such an unreachable standard for work ethic in this industry that I still hear people go, you guys remember when like Scott would come in all the fucking time? Like, that guy was awesome. And that was years ago. Yeah. The dude made such a fucking impact. And it doesn't matter where you go in Washington. It doesn't matter if I am in Forks. I will go into a place who knows you by name and talks about how awesome you are. And it drives me, it's great. You deserve it. But also,
Fuck me.
Fuck.
Yeah, I know.
You read a beer book a day.
Yeah. So, I mean, basically what it was I couldn't play sports anymore because of a medical injury that has nothing to do with this at all. And so work became my sport, and it didn't matter what job I had. I wanted to be the best at what I did and take my own approach at it. And beer sales jobs, if people aren't familiar, typically come with you get money for each barrel you sell. So you sell a barrel, you get $1 or whatever it is. And at the time, that first brewery I worked for, there wasn't a cap on that. There wasn't like hey, you max out at this dollar amount of barrels that you sell. And so I was like, all right, well, if I work from 7 o'clock in the morning till midnight, and I schedule 5 to 7 events a week at a minimum of 5 keg handles per event, and I do that forever, I can make unlimited amounts of money. And so that's what I did, is I'd wake up early in the morning, I'd check my emails, I would call the reps for the route that I was going to be on, and I would absolutely just grind. And when you work hard, you play hard. And that's where the chugging came in. Yeah.
That's amazing.
What was the
work
hardest
ethic.
beer to chug?
Oh, man. The hardest beer to chug. I would say I was in a competitive beer chugging group, and we had to do a volume chug of the highest ABV beer that you could do. And I did a flower vase of Black Tuesday from the brewery, which is like
Bethany's face right now.
which is and I didn't do grandma's flower vase. I did like the buckets that you buy flowers out of at the store, like basically one of those. And
The hotel ice bucket.
the hotel chugs. Man,
It's a different thing, Ross. That's a very specific reference.
That's something else.
I don't know if any of those are any public pages, but when I was with one of the breweries I was for, part of my territory was Canada, and I spent like 9 days straight in Canada in the same hotel room, and they wouldn't refill the plastic cups. They're like, no, you have glass cups. Like, we're not going to give you more plastic. And I'm like, I don't want to drink out of your dirty cups. And so I thought it would be a really good idea. I'm like, you know what? I have a coffee pot and I can boil water to sanitize it. So I boiled the water in the coffee pot and I emptied it out and then I let it cool down. And that's what I was drinking my beer out of in Canada. And then I'm like, well, I'll just chug out of it. Did a few chug videos of some Canadian beers. At that time, Canadian beer producers in Vancouver. No offense to you because you're going to get upset. Your beers were terrible at the time. And so that's why I had to chug them, because if you don't like something, you either dump it down the drain or you just chug it and get it out of the way. So, yeah, I've chugged a lot of beers out of a coffee pot in a hotel room.
Because it was the only clean thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's
Good
very
thinking.
conservation focused. He doesn't
Yeah.
waste.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Yeah, we have a new beer. We're rolling through them kind of quick.
Love that story.
Fucking Black Tuesday. Another McKellar. Is this a McKellar collab?
Yeah, same thing.
Is it the same thing, but different year?
Yeah, different producer collaboration or different year. I couldn't tell you which one. Once again, when you get to a certain level of random amounts of beverages, then you just start forgetting what you have. I did bring. Do we want to start passing bottles around for people to try?
We did.
You just did. Okay, you got one rolling. All right, awesome. If you don't,
And the
like,
Tums are going around too.
yeah, send them around. Send them around.
Good move.
If you don't like lambic now, you probably won't like it later. But I hope that you get to enjoy the unique experience that lambic brings.
Should they have the Lunchables too? Or?
Yeah,
Yeah.
send them off.
Not Tacoma
Send 'em off.
Charcuterie.
Maybe that would help.
Yeah.
When he says you won't like them later, he means at 2 a.m. when you're in the bathroom.
Oh. Yeah, there's lots of poop memes that go around lambic groups for some reason. But lambic is good for you. It's like alcoholic kombucha that is actually way better than kombucha.
Word.
So
Yeah. It does, yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah, it's got the nice probiotic properties, right? From
yeah.
the
Totally
spontaneous
true.
fermentation.
Yeah, lambic is like 3 of the things that you know you should do in life that you don't. It's you share with people, right? You share lambic with people, and that's something you should do with your life. You should share your life with others. You should take care of your gut health because that's crucial to living a long time. And you should also drink beer. So lambic is those 3 things put together.
Boom.
So what you're saying is lambic is
Efficient.
Life.
lambic is life.
Lambic is life. And all you barley wine folks, okay, I just want to throw this out there. Would you rather be blackout drunk on your bathroom floor or, drinking a bunch of barley wine, or you drink a bunch of lambic and you're coherent and you can flip through reels and listen to Grit and Grain podcast? Just saying.
That's a good
If you right? Just throwing it out there.
It's the best commercial we've ever run.
That is the best commercial we've ever had.
That's a T-shirt.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of T-shirts, I got something else in my box.
Oh, well, fuck.
Is this a newer version?
I see Rich
Of
Jameson
the-
down there. Rich, I
of
got
this
your
beer?
shirt.
I
I
think
promise.
it
I
is
never
in there.
forgot about you. local artist and producer Todd Mason owns a company, and back in the day, I was like, man, I could make a living selling lambic stuff, and that was not the case, which is why I don't do that now. But I have a whole pile of shirts. You guys can pass them around, take sizes you want, except for Rich gets first pick because I still own my shirt. Yeah, so we made a shirt with the Cantillon label, and it says "Silence of the Lambics."
That's awesome.
I got you, Doc.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
So this was like I don't know. Gary was there when this happened. This was like a 7 year ago thing, 7 or 8 years ago. I thought it would be really cool. We had some ideas for like we're gonna do a Tacoma lambic basket shirt, and we're gonna do a life is dear. Cradle it close and have like a picture of a bottle of lambic in a lambic cradle, and like do like kind of lambic puns and memes. But yeah, feel free to grab a shirt after Rich gets his. You guys too. But yeah, Silence of the Lambics, because no one knows about them. So
did you just do the fava bean noise? Fucking 10 Chianti Iran over here.
So yeah, I come bearing gifts. If you're gonna invite me on a podcast, I'm gonna bring things.
What are you doing next week?
Yeah, I know. Way to set the standard for everybody else.
Next week's episode is let's drink as many magnums of Belgian beer as we can in one sitting.
You need to get rid of a few.
We tried to do that with the Lees, and we only got through one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I listened to that episode, and I was like, oh, rad, they're cracking open some. I wonder which magnums I have left. And then I was like, oh, I have a 3 liter of Sammy Klaus. That's a lot bigger than that. I was like, I'm going to bring that to the podcast because that would be a terrible time for everyone. Yeah.
Oh, fuck. No parent-teacher conferences next week. Noted.
Yeah, how'd that go last week?
It was fine. Luckily, most of the people that work at my wife's job know what I do for a living and know that I only drink on the clock.
So if they smell it, you're like, it's just for
I'm just working,
work.
man. I'm
It's
just
work.
at work, guys. Don't worry. Okay. Fuck.
What's
All right.
next?
Yeah, we're popping into a third one. This is actually one of my probably favorite beers of all time, and it was the first Cantillon I ever got my hands on. Was Ruben his name? Expat from who came back from Belgium, and brought a bunch of fucking lambic with him, and just he had been out of the States for a couple years, and he's like, I've been missing things like Abyss and Parabola from Firestone. Do you guys have any of that? And fucking, I'm like, oh my god, I have so much of that. He was like, would you trade for some Cantillon? And 2013, 2014, 2015, it was just ungettable. And Cantillon at the time was like the most highly regarded beer on the planet. Mm-hmm. Even though I think lambic was still, the understanding of it as a style was still sort of in its infancy compared to where it is today. And he traded me a bottle of St. Lambinus for 2 22s of Abyss, which just seems insane now.
Yeah, which is a steal. And I mean, around that time frame, there wasn't really anyone getting Cantillon in the state of Washington. That you had Bottle Works, one of the OGs, who got it, but they decided, I believe Trevor was the manager at the time, a gentleman named Trevor. Love you, guy. Thank you for hooking me up all the time. They just were like, we're not going to sell this. We're going to just put it underneath the building. And so, currently, the management team at Bottle Works is, slowly been trickling out all these super killer vintages from 2011, 12, and 13.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I think the price point of lambic at retailers is what kind of gives people hesitancy to try it. It's a style they've never heard of and never had. And, when you're looking at anywhere from $30 to $100 at a retailer, it kind of gives people hesitation because I'm going to invest X amount of money. I could just get a bottle of wine. And to that I say, a lot of these lambic producers do collaborative stuff with their local wine producers. Mm-hmm. And those wine producers, some of them solely are funded by these lambic blenderies because they're buying their entire crop. So drink lambic because then you're helping wineries stay afloat.
Can we talk a little how lambics are made and the history behind them
Yeah.
for listeners?
I would love to talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
So,
This ancient
Yeah,
style.
but the history's kind of vague.
yeah. So
It is.
we'll just do the general history of beer. Some guy had some grain in a pot, and it rained, and then he forgot it was in there, and then some liquid bubbled up, and he drank it, and he's like, "Oh, I feel weird," quote unquote. That's not the history of beer, but I imagine that lambic is a similar story. But I will say this: I am no expert on lambic. But when you spend 10,000 hours doing something, you become really good at it. And I have invested well over 10,000 hours drinking lambic.
That makes you an expert.
That's what I'm really good at. But knowing all of the things as far as producing lambic, blending it, I'm not an expert. So I will do my best to do justice to the beverage. But what I love about it is just the community behind it is a lot different than most, and we can cover that after the history. But if Matt wants to give a little rundown with his advanced
Some of that Cicerone baloney?
BJCP, or maybe we can get Trevor on the mic at some point to go talk about beer styles. But yeah.
No, it's all right. And we're going to do that right after this break.
It's a tease. It's perfect.
Stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for hanging out during the break. If you skipped through or didn't quite catch it, please do check out Channel 253 and send a lot of love to Doug, our wonderful producer, who makes us sound so good every single week.
Thanks,
Thanks, Doug. We
Doug.
love you. Yeah, Channel 253 is awesome, and it's a local network of podcasts, and it's all member supported. So it's very important that you check it out and send your money to those guys because it's very important work. And honestly, if you want info about Tacoma and what's happening, that's the place to get it. And it's so easy. So yeah, thank you as always.
And
Doug.
we have this cool beer podcast.
That is true.
Yeah.
We talk about beer on there. We're still all kind of sipping on St. Lambics and just fucking gushing over how delicious this beer
I
is.
chugged mine.
Yeah, mine's gone.
That's on brand.
Mine's gone too.
I took a sip and I was like, this is delightful. I should finish it quickly.
Yeah, man, so good. We have a couple more to get through before the end of the episode, but they're all from the same producer. We'll get to that in a minute. We were talking a little bit about like the history of lambic, which is kind of the history of beer. Lambic was probably the first kind of beer that was made because it was the only way to really make it. But what I mean by that is lambic has always been produced using natural yeast in the air. So there's really kind of one pocket in Belgium where you can make the type of lambic that we're drinking now. There's all kinds of wild ales that get produced everywhere. American wild ale is kind of a separate style now, where you can use natural yeast from the air or from fruit or from regular, flora and make beer out of it. But with lambic, you have these big vats of sugary liquid, and then all of the yeast and all of the bacteria and stuff precipitates into the beer and ferments it that way, and then also sours it. So lambic is produced in these big vats and then usually aged for various amounts of time. Lambic that gets blended, so most of what we're drinking here is lambic that is blended into something called gueuze. Gueuze is a blend of lambic, usually between 1 and 3 years old at varying percentages of the blend. If you have just a straight lambic, it means that it wasn't blended at all. Just whatever came out of the barrel that they tasted was so goddamn good that they put it in a bottle and released it. Those are a bit harder to come by because there's a lack of consistency in things like lambic, but it's also what makes the world of kind of this style of beer, the world of lambic, so exciting because much like wine vintages, you get different barrels from different vintages and different production runs that are super different, even though it's the exact same base beer. The bacteria in the air and all the wild fermentation just does so much unique stuff to these beers. Sometimes they come out really funky and smoky and smell like gym socks, and sometimes they come out incredibly balanced, like lemon meringue and like red wine grapes. And when you get those really good ones, you want to just throw them in a bottle and not blend them.
Hey, Matt, is there wheat in this beer? In lambic?
What's that?
Is there wheat in lambic?
A weed?
Wheat.
Wheat? Oh, yeah, unmalted wheat is like pretty common. And then usually aged hops, which is more for their preservative, like their preservative factors rather than like actually flavoring the lambic. And then they use something called a turbid mash, which basically just pulls every fucking imaginable thing out of the malt that you can get, which would create a really shitty beer if you weren't going to be letting it sit for up to 3 years. If you ever did that with a regular beer, it would be funky and really, really like almost like rubbing alcohol tasting because of all the crappy stuff that can come out of grain when you overdo it. But in lambic, it actually works out very well.
I'm going to briefly be Matt's translator. Lambic is sour beer, produced strictly in Belgium. Can have fruit, or maybe it doesn't, and it's delicious. Naturally fermented.
That is the TLDR of what I just said.
I just wanted to clarify for people that maybe don't nerd out about the style as much as myself or
Well, I was
Matt
mostly
or the
talking to
industry.
Bethany because she.
Yeah. You can't see it, but the look on Bethany's face was, wow.
No, I love it. No,
I love it,
I know most of the history behind it. But yeah, how many operating breweries are there in that area of Belgium right now? Maybe Trevor knows. He's been there recently, like that are making.
So I'm going to use the word variable. So operating breweries, a lot of lambic producers actually don't make their own wort. They typically get their wort from Lindemans or Boone, who are two of the major producers out there. And essentially, that's what we're gonna be drinking. I'm gonna butcher the name of the producer because it's changed like 7 times. But the gentleman who produces these lambics, his name is Raff. So we're gonna go with that.
Raff's beers.
Raff's beers, and he gets his wort from Lindemans and Boone. And what makes him different and unique? He's kind of like the punk rock kid of lambic. He's traditionally, classically trained, but he takes the style to a different level that the traditional producers take. What he does is he'll take standard ingredients that most lambic producers will put in their beers, and then he's like, I'm going to put vanilla, or I'm going to actually, I'm going to blend wine grapes and stone fruit together.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to take raspberries and stone fruit and grapes and blend it together. So he's kind of like bucking the trend. So what we've got for everyone to enjoy and for us to drink today is 3 different takes. One from 2017, bottled in 2017, one from 2018, and one from 2019. And they're the 3 different styles that he typically puts together. So one that's going around is a wine grape, white wine grapes, I believe. The second one is going to be a strictly stone fruit based lambic, which is by far my absolute favorite that he's produced. And then a blend of raspberry and stone fruit. And I won't say how much money I paid for these bottles, but I will say you could probably buy a car that runs on Craigslist for the 3 bottles we're about to drink.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for letting me share, because I feel even more guilty drinking a bottle of that value by myself, because inevitably it ends in a chug.
Hey, speaking of chugs, have you ever received a death threat for doing a chug?
Yeah. A few times.
That's my favorite thing.
So the lambic community.
Oh, there's been 2. That's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about the other. Yeah. I was thinking of a different one, but yeah, go ahead.
Oh, you want to do the bar?
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah, we'll do the barley.
We're talking
wine
about
one.
lambic.
Well, no, I mean, there's a small brewery in Washington you might know named Holy Mountain, and they produce a beer called Hand of Glory. Hand of Glory was in the heyday of beer nerdness in
Standing
Washington.
in line for hours getting a beer.
Yeah. So you show up at 5:00 in the morning. The release starts at 11. It's limit 2 bottles. 700 people line up, and really they only have 500 bottles available. So a bunch of people get shut out. And so because I thought it was funny, I posted a video of me chugging one of my bottles of Hand of Glory, because I had already traded the other one to a guy in California for some lambic, of course. And I'm like, what better way to consume the last bottle I have than to chug it, and then let's post it on the local beer page on Facebook. And I received multiple death threats from people who said, I know where you work, I will find you. And they weren't joking.
Because they didn't get their bottle?
Yeah, because they didn't get a bottle.
Yeah, they didn't get any bottles.
You can enjoy it any way you want to enjoy your bottle.
Yeah, no, you can't.
You would think you would think that grown men would agree with you, but they didn't.
Yeah.
These fucking idiots.
I think what made that even more extreme was the weather conditions that day for people waiting in line. I think it was like October or November release. It was 40 degrees. It was sideways rain. Everyone's hammered from the line shares that they used to have until someone like me ruined it. And so, everyone's super drunk, and then you get to the front, and then there's no bottles left, and then you're mad. You waited for 5 hours for a beer that you couldn't get, and
hoping to spend 5 times the amount on secondary, and then Scott goes and takes one of those off the market.
Yeah,
in 4 seconds.
Yeah.
In a clean 4 seconds.
Yeah. And I actually I wanted it to be like a hip hop video, so I thought it'd be like super cool to have my guys behind me. So I'm a short.
That's totally right.
For those of you that don't know who I am and can't obviously see me right now, I'm a shorter gentleman, so most everyone's taller than me.
Let him know, King. Let him know.
Yeah. Hashtag short king, right? That's the thing.
Let him know.
That's why I wear Nike Air Maxes. And so I had my crew, quote unquote, my beer crew behind me, and they're some taller guys, some bigger guys, and just like arms crossed, like in what looked like an abandoned kitchen, but it was actually under remodel. And so I'm, and one guy's like, "Hand of glory," and then I poured it in a thing. It's like dead silent, awkwardly, and then just boom, slammed it. And I was like, "That's gonna be the coolest video ever." Everyone's gonna be like, "Hell yeah, you chugged that beer that no one could get." It was the opposite reaction.
I doubt I've seen as much vitriol on a single thing since then.
Yeah, I don't like. I've never seen a post get 1 like and like 7,500 angry faces.
Just so you know, I was the like.
Yeah.
They'll come after you next, Matt.
That's fine.
I hand blocked Matt from grabbing the next pour because I got to get a little bit of this, but this is the stone fruit variant.
Nice.
I would have stolen so much.
Yeah.
Is there an ideal seasonal time frame to brew lambic?
Yeah, typically they do it in the fall because of temperatures. With the shift in climate change or global warming, or neither of those two things if you don't believe in science, the brewing season has decreased, and it's getting more difficult because some of the temperatures are not ideal for open air fermentation overnight. Typically what they're looking for is a nice, cool, less dense air to ferment these beers in before they transfer them into barrels. And with the season changing, it's caused a lot of havoc over there. Drie has changed their open beer days, and Cantillon is doing less come check us out while we brew type situations. Like, unfortunately, lambic is dying. So while I say lambic is life, with science that's not real, it's slowly going away. And so I think people should really get into it now and start to collect it and start to gather it and start to enjoy it, because there is going to be a day down the road where they won't be able to make these beers anymore traditionally. So getting to know them how they are now. Know me at my best, so you love me at my worst.
Oh, Jesus. That's a fucking bar. God damn.
What kind of little beasts are in lambic?
What?
He means bacteria and yeast and shit.
Yeah,
Ron.
so I was like, Little Beast. I was like, I love that. I love
Actually,
that.
we can
I
talk
love
about.
Beast.
I know. We can talk about that now because one of them is actually kind of prominent in this particular pour.
For sure.
But like Ron's joke is, there's a brewery in the Northwest called Little Beast, and it's a reference to all the little bacteria and yeasties and stuff that eat up everything. So we did like a little fermentation blurb not too long ago about the difference between polysaccharides and monosaccharides, where some are fermentable and some aren't. There are different kind of yeasts that have different thresholds for what types of sugar or dextrins they can ferment. And one of the like infamous types of yeast, but is also one of the most widely used in lambic is Brettanomyces. There's different versions of Brettanomyces, but generally it will eat whatever the fuck you put in front of it. So it doesn't matter if it's a very complex dextrin or a very simple sugar, it will just ferment it. And this does a lot of things. It will dry out a beer. So a lot of lambic that is heavy in Brettanomyces will be very dry, not as sweet as any other kind of beer that can't ferment those more complex sugars. But it creates a ton of crazy byproducts in flavor. For most wine producers, it's a huge issue because it can create all kinds of flavors you don't want in wine. But in beer, it creates a lot of complementary flavors sometimes. And there's a few of them, but like some you get like really heavy pineapple type flavors, some you get a lot of citrus, and then some you can get like spiced type flavors. And when those thresholds are really high, you can actually get like smoke almost and like minerality. 4-ethyl phenol is like a compound that creates like this kind of like smokiness, and that's like present in a lot of goose and lambic. And this one has like a little touch of that. And it was one of the first things I noticed when I smelled it. It was like this smokiness and minerality. But yeah, little beasts.
I think of Brett as like kind of horsey. Isn't that kind of the horsey flavor?
For sure.
Too?
Yeah.
Horse
Which is like
blanket.
the same,
Sounds gross, but it tastes great and it works in the beers. Like,
That's
Yep.
sounds like goaty and stuff sounds gross, but it really
horse
works.
blanket. Nailed it. Nailed it.
She nailed it.
Totally.
A lot of people associate Belgian beer with that specific flavor profile. I mean, that's kind of the joke for beer nerds is what kind of blanket are you, right? And people that drink Belgian beers are horse blankets because that is a dominant flavor profile in a lot of Belgian beers.
Yep.
And lambic is one of those, but predominantly goose because it is unfruited typically. But I think lambic is, man, it's just so misunderstood. Like
You love it so much.
Because it's so much fun.
Yeah, the complexity.
You can lambic with anything. I mean, if I, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Go on that.
verb.
Go
It's
on
a
that. Go on that.
yeah. So one of the things I used to do when I was at pFriem and I was hosting beer dinners, and we did lambic inspired beers because lambic can only be produced in one part of the world, kind of like champagne. I would tell the room, I'd say, okay, we're gonna be throwing blah beer, Bos Bessen. Can't call it blah. We couldn't call it blah beer. We got a notice from someone in Belgium for calling it that. And I would tell people, before you take a drink, close your eyes. And people kind of look all weird, right? And I'd be like, no, close your eyes. And I would say, okay, imagine you're sitting in a field, a beautiful green pasture, all right? And that pasture is surrounded by orchards, and those orchards have the most ripe cherry trees. And you have your hand out, and someone hands you a cherry off of that tree, and you take a bite of it. And that flavor, picture that feeling and that flavor at the same time. And that's what lambic is lambic is a feeling. It's a time and a place that not all beers can offer you. Kind of like what Matt was saying earlier is lambic is specific to that exact moment in time. Whether it be the time that it went into the cool ship to ferment, or the time that it went into the barrel to sit, or the time that it was blended, lambic is specific to a time and a place that no other beer style, and I will fight you about it, can be, because that's what's in the bottle, is that very moment. And when you open that bottle and you pour it and you share it with everyone, that's the feeling of that person's blood, sweat, and tears, that farmer, that blender, the wine producer who sent the used barrels. It's a time and a place that cannot be duplicated in the beer industry. And like I said, I will fight you after I chug some lambic about it.
I have been at one of those dinners.
Oh, dude. I'm fucking hyped right now.
Yeah.
Me too. All the feels.
I know.
Like electric.
Lambic movie.
Electric.
I know. We were like Scott said, like it's, lambic can be misunderstood, I think. And on like we talked about it a lot before Tacoma Beer Week last year, but we were super lucky to be able to screen a documentary that featured world famous lambic producers. So if you didn't get a chance to see it, that's a bummer. We did a couple showings of it. It was fantastic. But the Grand hosted this really big showing, and a lot of local folks showed up. And it told the story of Cantillon, Dreifonteinen, and of Raff's beer, of Bokeh, or Boke.
Yeah,
Boke-Rider,
Bokeh.
Yeah. But yeah, it profiled. I mean, the very human stories behind these like very high profile beer producers who are now kind of legends in this industry and make this thing that most people don't totally understand. It's still beer, but it's so different than any other beer that I've ever tried. And yeah, it does get misunderstood. But fucking by crazy happenstance, got an email from the director about that. And we were hoping that it would one day get picked up by streamers, and it sounds like Apple TV and Amazon are going to have bottle conditioned to stream for people next year, which is fucking incredible.
It's awesome.
It's incredible for a couple of reasons, because if you guys remember when Somm first came out on Netflix, like I worked in a liquor store when that was released, and the change in people's attitude towards purchasing wine was insane because of how popular that movie got.
Bro, our sales went up from an average of $10 to bottle, to I need to spend $40 now on my Chardonnay for the weekend at the beach, and I was like,
something from Russian River.
Yeah,
Chardonnay.
It's
I really like buttery Chardonnay.
Yeah.
Like it just got like, and the like we make fun of it a little bit, obviously, but like the whole point was you had this thing that really concisely contextualize what made this thing special, and Bottle Condition does that for lambic. It is probably one of the most elegantly made beer movies that I have ever seen. I guess when the only other one to think of is Beer Fest. It's the opposite of Beer Fest. It's the fucking polar opposite of Beer Fest. But if you have either of those things, I hope that you will watch Bottle Condition when it comes out next year. It's fucking incredible, and it does add a lot of context and a lot more understanding of this really beautiful beer world that is, this one style of beer is just as big as the world of beer outside of it, if that makes sense. Like lambic, the world of lambic is just as big as the rest of the craft beer world, if you explore it enough.
So not to take away from any brewery that doesn't produce lambic, because that is a lot of hard work, a lot of long days, long nights. Like it doesn't have anything to do with that. It's just speaking on lambic individually as a style. There isn't another beer like it, and there never will be.
That's science, man. That's not even.
Yeah.
That's science, bro. I know. Is it fuck up story time?
Well, you haven't poured that bottle yet.
That is true.
Doug is stirring it down.
Fuck up number one.
Fuck up story. Now still that bottle yet.
Well, shit. I guess as we pour the last bottle of Raff, which is a framboos, which I'm so excited for. Yeah, man. It might be time for a fuck up story.
All right, illustrious grit and grain guests. Now it's time to throw down on some fuck-up stories. I am Sean Jackson. Challenge flag has been set. Bar is high. Bring it on, fuckers.
I guess besides getting death threats for chugging very expensive, highly in-demand bottles of beer.
What was the other chug that got the death threat?
Yeah, we're gonna not bring that up again. that goes deep in the old country.
Okay.
I'll just throw that out there for that again. It might be associated with the specific style of beer that we're drinking, and the fact that the specific beer that I chugged had a value well over a down payment for a house. But I won it in a raffle. I didn't pay that much for it. And what better way to enjoy a beer that you didn't really pay for, that everyone is mad that you won, by chugging it.
That's amazing.
So, F-up stories. I had to reach out to my old beer rep friend group to make sure I could tell this story, because it's unique to us as a team, and it's unique to kind of how I said work hard, play hard earlier. one of the things at pFriem that I was super proud of that myself and some of the Washington reps put together was a team called the Hopnificent 7. The Hopnificent 7 was just 7 breweries of people we liked to work with each other. Some of it had a little bit to do with the book that we were in, but we had some other people in there. And it was just a rowdy group of beer reps. And we used to travel all over Washington and host the Hopnificent 7 events. It was a way for us to get an event so that way we could tell our bosses that we're working. Also spend time with each other. Keep our budgets in line because we'd share hotel rooms and whatnot. And
Bowl.
Yeah.
Next at the chalet.
Yeah. So the story I'm going to tell isn't that one.
Okay.
Where one of the guys from Hop 7 puked on my carpet. So the very last Hop 7 event we did in Bellingham at Elizabeth Station. Shout out to a legend up there.
Dude, seriously.
Afterwards, we're like, let's go get beer somewhere. And the manager at the time, Coco, was like, yo, we don't need beers. I've got a 3-liter of Le Fin du Monde.
Sick. That's awesome.
End of world.
Yeah, and so that's not foreshadowing.
I know. I was like, we're going to make this mean something tonight.
So we go back to the hotel. All of us booked the same hotel. And by all of us, I mean we had 2 rooms, and there was a total of 9 of us. And there was only 2 beds total.
Beer guy puddle.
Yep. And so we're already very hammered from our Hopnificent 7 event. We roll back to the hotel. We go to one of the rooms. We start drinking, hanging out, having fun. And the lobby supervisor at the time knocked on the door and was like, yo, we're getting complaints. You guys are being loud. And we're like, oh, man, my bad. You know, like, we're just trying to have a good time. And he's like, how about this? The restaurant area is closed. If you guys go over there, you won't bother anyone. And we're like, man, that's super rad. Like, thank you so much. And we're like taking bottle swigs out of this 3-liter Le Fin du Monde on top of like just drinking whatever samples we had in our ice chest at the time. After having consumed 100 beers, and I had people challenging me at the event, they could beat me in a chug, and they all lost, and so they had to pay my tab. And one of the people in the group, his name is Kendo. He currently works for Holy Mountain. He's a big, strong dude, like just big, strong guy. And he picked up someone, and I was like, I could do that too. And once again, a reference back to that I'm a little guy. I went and picked up one of my buddies. Shout out to Hoyt, who's no longer in the industry. I went to pick up one of my friends, and I didn't know there was a small side table behind me, and I fell with Hoyt, and I suplexed him into the side table, and he hit his head in like concussion status. So then the lobby guy comes over, and he's like, hey, you guys are getting a little rowdy, like can't be doing that. And like, my bad, man.
Can't be getting concussions.
Suplexes through tables.
Yeah. And so
We're pretty flexible up until then.
to apologize, we thought it would be a good idea if we collected the money that we had in our pockets. And you got to talk. We sold beer all day. We then do this long event, and we're drinking, and we're beer reps, so we're not in any sort of shape to be sweating. And so we're collecting this sweaty money, and we have like $6. And so we walk over to the counter, and we're like, hey, man, here's a tip. Thanks for being so cool. And then our pizza showed up that we had ordered, that we didn't remember we had ordered, and we were like, hey, we wonder if you can walk on pizza boxes across a pool. So we ate
Fucking what?
So we.
It's a question.
So we.
Doug's like, this is so valid. Yeah. This is a science question.
Right? So, like, what if you tied pizza boxes to the bottom of your shoes and tried to walk across a pool?
Were there any women at
I
this?
thought you were thinking about doing it. I was like, this is most extreme elimination challenge.
You have to do the run thing. You got to run across.
Yeah.
No.
This is not going to work.
So I don't know how that ended. I had to be up at 5 o'clock in the morning to drive to Spokane for an event. Remember that whole, I did 100 events and drove all over the place. So I'm going to say I went to bed. that's more appropriate. I went to bed, and when I woke up in the morning, I had to go get Farmer Matt out of the other room, and everyone was kind of sort of still awake. Someone was missing their shoes, which I assume ended up in the pool, and the lobby guy took them.
Attached to pizza boxes.
Yeah. There was a sock for what looked like no one of our stature in the sink, and it was wet. And there was one person sleeping in the bathtub and another person sleeping on the floor in the bathroom and another person going to the bathroom in the bathroom.
Yikes.
So a little insight into how the old school beer life used to be for the Wild West Hop 7 crew. That is a story I got cleared by them.
Could you walk across the pool on pizza boxes?
That's what we really want to know.
Yeah, we really want to know.
TBD, you'll have to invite some of the Hop 7 team who might remember the story better than I do. I know one of the chugs I did was pFriem bourbon barrel aged stout, because people said I wouldn't do it. So obviously you have to do it.
Yeah. That's king shit.
And then kind of Bellingham again. I'll make this one super short. We did Brewers by the Bay. It's like a big festival. You come get your pours. I was shotgunning beers with people that were coming. Like, that's against the law. You're not supposed to pour beer at a festival and also drink beers. So I'm shotgunning beers in front of the booth and then walking behind the booth and pouring beers and drinking. And the bar manager at Melvin Brewing at the time, that was in Bellingham. This is before all the thing that happened there. Was like, hey, everyone's invited back to Melvin, the whole Bellingham Brewers by the Bay thing. So we show up there, and she's like kind of just talking. And she's like, hey, I saw you shotgunning beers. Like, can you chug fast? And I was like, yeah, I think I could chug fast. And she's like, how about this? I think it'd be really cool, and I could sell lots of beer today to all the other people if we do like chug contests with 2x4.
Jesus.
2x4 is their 10% double IPA. And I was like, okay, well, what's the whole like concept of it? She's like, if anyone beats you, you have to pay for their tab. And I was like, all right, well, round some people up and let's do it. It was the entire brewery tap room, and it was probably 40 people. And I'm behind the bar chugging 2x4, round after round after round after round after round. I didn't lose a single round. But what I did do about 45 minutes later was decorate the planter box with vomit.
Well, yeah.
That's such a nice way of putting it, though.
Good.
And then I went
Good
to
for you.
Elizabeth Station, cracked a bottle of Lambic, and sat and sobered up a little bit.
Got some life back in you.
Nice.
Way to bring it back.
There you go.
But yeah, so I guess those are my terrible beer up stories.
Nice. All right, Grit and Grainers. Email us at cheers@gritandgrainpodcast.com with your comments, opinions, and ideas for what chuggy beer could chug next, such as a scorpion bowl, dehydrated cheesy gazpacho, construction boot full of communion grape juice, sponge Borg SquarePants, and of course the Brewery Black Tuesday 2015. We respond and drink everything we receive, and we try to respond as quickly as we can. If not online, then on air.
Lambic, baby.
You can subscribe to Grit and Grain on Amazon, Apple Music, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio, and Stitcher, and please leave us a review. Also, check us out on Channel 253, Dougie, and gritandgrainpodcast.com. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram for episode notes, beer news, and a page out of Scott Travis' pFriem rep diary, such as July 21st, 2017 entry. Dear Diary, I left Tulips Hotel at 5 a.m. I read 3 chapters of The Botany of Beer while waiting for the Third Eye Grind espresso stand to open. The latte foam looked like the little pissing man in Brussels. Visited 45 accounts on the way to Olympia. Lunched on mussels and a transatlantic creek. The audiobook I'm listening to isn't correct. I turned it off and practiced my Flemish. Visited 20 more accounts on the way to Rainier Growlers. Manager Ben ran home and brought me back a 3 Floyds Dark Lord. Great, now I have 32 of them. Visited 15 more accounts on the way to Seattle while reciting the beer A to Z glossary. Said false bottom this time, sorry fermentation. Ate dinner at a Brouwers, Stumbling Monk, and Dick's. Visited 7 more accounts on the way to Linwood while listening to Farmer Matt discuss ficus milky stems on the speaker. checked into a hotel, checked into the Holiday Inn, called my Hopnificent 7 buddies, chugged an ice bucket full of coconut curry Hefeweizen, fell asleep reading the book, Sleeping Through the Graveyard Shift. It was a good day. If this podcast is not what expected, please alter your expectations. Liquor before beer, you're in the clear. Beer before liquor, get drunk quicker. Lambic before Manhattan, adopt a Komodo dragon. No such thing as a bad time to visit Tacoma. No such thing as too much barley wine. Tune in next
Lambic.
Friday for more sweet chatter. Cheers.
No much thing. Too much lambic.
Too much lambic.
Too much lambic. That, I think, might be your best hour. Thanks again for tuning in. Don't forget to follow us at Grit and Grain Podcast wherever you get your social media and catch new episodes every Friday. Cheers.
Good up.
Channel 253 is a member-supported podcast network. I'm producer Doug Mackey, and I'm asking you to become a member and show your support. Go to channel253.com/membership to join. Thank you. Grit and Grain is part of the Channel 253 podcast network. Check out our other shows: Nerd Farmer, Interchangeable White Ladies, Move to Tacoma, Crossing Division, Citizen Tacoma, What Say You, We Are Tacoma, Flounders B Team, and Taco Man.
This is Channel 253.